tell all Californians right now, no matter where you come from, no matter what your ethnic background, help is on the way in California. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, May. Thank you, Bob Huff, Senator Bob Huff. I appreciate all of you. All of you are leaders in all of your communities, and that's really important because you are the people that sacrifice hours and hours and devote yourself to improving the quality of life in your community. That is the highest calling that any of us can muster. Isn't that right? And we should congratulate ourselves because, you know what? It makes us feel better helping our fellow man or woman, right? That's why we dedicate ourselves to helping. It's not that we do it for money. We don't need to do it for money. We don't need to do it to get our picture taken and get all the flash bulbs in my face. We do it because we're human beings, and the highest calling that a human being can have is to help their fellow human beings. And thank all of you for all the work that you do in your community. I honor all of your efforts. But let me tell you, this campaign for governor is going to give us the clearest choice for the leadership of this state in over a couple of generations. The choice is extremely clear. My opponent is an absolute gift from God, let me tell you. Because this man has had so much personal baggage. He's got so much of a bad record in San Francisco. Have you been to that wonderful city lately? I mean, I would charitably describe it as a cesspool to a lot of people. You have to walk over used hypodermic needles and human waste. I was in San Francisco on Friday, and a woman had taken out a full-page ad in the San Francisco Chronicle talking about how horrendous it is to live in San Francisco these days. And they're losing convention business as well. But I gotta tell you, it's that way all across the state of California. And my opponent has also told us exactly what he's going to do in California. And that is, in the highest tax state in the country, he is going to raise taxes. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, help is on the way. We are going to reduce taxes in this state. The issues in this campaign could not be more clear. The people of California have been pounded into poverty by the special interests and my opponent in Sacramento. He has done nothing for the last 16 years while cost of living has gone skyrocketing in this state. California now leads the nation in the number of people in poverty, and that can't be allowed to stand. We are going to make this state affordable. We are going to make this state livable. We are going to make this state safe. And we are going to make this the Golden State once again. My opponent is going to make this about the President of the United States, about Donald Trump, because he knows the polls are showing the President to be underwater. I got to tell you, my opponent is also underwater. 43% approval, 47% disapproval. That's a neat trick. And he's 99% known by the people. There's still about 25% of the people that don't know who I am yet, but they're going to find out. They're going to find out that I'm a small businessman. I started at the bottom like many of you, and I built a small business and achieved the American dream. My mom was a single mom on the south side of Chicago, and she told me the path to prosperity is get the best education you can get. And that is what I did. I got the best education. I worked my way through college. I worked my way through law school as a CPA. While I worked 60 hours a week as a CPA, I went to law school at night. And I paid for it all myself. As a matter of fact, I finished college in 2.5 years because I was paying for it. My daughters, by the way, I have 4 daughters. Most of them took 5 years because I was paying for it. But I'm glad I got them the opportunity, and I'm glad I had the opportunity. And I built my business over 40 years by emphasizing integrity, quality, and efficiency. Have you ever heard that about a politician? Those are 3 strange words to most politicians, aren't they? Well, I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, and I've spent a career achieving results. And frankly, that's what our president is doing as well. As you know, the level of our economy has grown. Under Obama, we got barely to 2% growth. We are probably going to do 4% growth this year in this economy. And Mr. Newsom is going to make it all about Mr. Trump. Well, you know what? Mr. Trump didn't enact a gasoline tax on the people of California. You did, Mr. Newsom, and we're going to repeal it in November. Vote yes on Proposition 6 right here. And you know what? Mr. Trump didn't create a housing crisis in California. Mr. Newsom, you and your political class and your special interest cronies created this housing crisis. I'm in the housing business. I build apartments for $80,000 a unit in Indiana, which is a well-managed state. Here in California, it's $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 driven up by government regulation. When I'm the governor of the state, we are truly going to build affordable housing that people can afford and have a great quality of life. And Mr. Trump did not create a water crisis in this state. Mr. Trump did not tear down reservoirs. Mr. Trump did not fail to build reservoirs in this state. I don't know if you know this or not, but Mr. Brown, my predecessor, just signed a bill that's going to cut the water allocation of every single one of you by 50%. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They slipped that in there around Memorial Day. Little surprise for you on Memorial Day. You're going to have to decide if you're going to take a shower or wash your clothes in a given day. Well, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm the governor of this state, we are going to build reservoirs, we're going to build desalination plants, we're going to recycle water, and we're going to have an abundance of water for farmers as well as for all of us living in this wonderful state. And let's talk about education. Mr. Trump did not spend $80 billion on our education system and watch it fall to be 47th in the nation. That's an absolute disgrace. My mom, I told you, was a school teacher on the south side of Chicago. She got 2 master's degrees from Berkeley in the 40s. And by the way, this is a woman who, after she got her 2nd master's degree in Spanish literature, went down, traveled to Chile, and taught illiterate kids how to read and write in Chile. This is a woman who was dedicated to public service, and she infused that dedication in me. And let me tell you, my mother taught me that they can't take away anything that's in your mind. Education is the key to climbing out of the lower class. And education is the key to success. Hard work and dedication is what's going to get you an education. But you know what? In California, that opportunity is foreclosed because of racial quotas. And that's wrong. We need to make sure that people who haven't had opportunities get opportunities, but we need to make sure that we don't divide people on race. We need to make sure that we have a totally colorblind society, and we give opportunity to people based upon the character, based upon their hard work, and based upon their willingness to grow and get a great education. We want admission to our universities done on merit, and that's what's going to happen when I'm governor of this state. by the way, at the same time, we're going to have professors that actually work. And we're going to bring down the cost of education. I absolutely am horrified to hear how many of our young people leave the university saddled with unbelievable amounts of debt. I worked hard, but I worked 2 jobs to put myself through college and, I might add, through law school. And I did it without any debt whatsoever. That is almost unavailable to our young people today. And I believe that that is economic suicide. Our future is all about our young people. Our future is all about education. Our future is all about growing the economy. And you only do that with innovation. You only do that with increasing productivity, and that's what increases our standard of living. I'm going to tell you, I'm a Jack Kemp Republican. I believe in this country as the beacon of hope and opportunity for all of the world. I believe in that shining city on a hill that Ronald Reagan talked about. Remember that? Ronald Reagan, just like me, was born in Illinois. Just like me, his father wasn't present during his youth. My real father walked out on my mother, didn't take responsibility. Just like me, Ronald Reagan came west to save the people of California. Well, I am dedicated to making this state livable, affordable, and successful. I'm dedicated to making this state safe. I'm dedicated to making this state open for business and open for opportunity. Jack Kemp and Ronald Reagan shared an essential characteristic, and that is they believed in people, not government. They believed in the power of the people. They believed in the ability of all of our people to chart our own path. We don't need government to tell us how to get our kids educated. We can do that ourselves. We don't need government to tell us how to pick a doctor. We can do that ourselves. We want government to protect us. We want government to make sure that we can settle disputes among ourselves. We want government to make sure that we're protected from outside interests. But we want to be able to live our lives and have our own opportunities for success. Join with me in this effort. Join with me in making sure that we make the right choice in California for the future. Gavin Newsom is going to try to divide us. He's going to try to divide us on social issues. He's going to try to divide us by creating a war with Washington, D.C. and President Trump. I want to unite us. I want to inspire each one of you to a life of helping others. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm running for governor. Join with me and let's make California the Golden State once again. Thank you very much.